Alright, so question number 1. Question number 1 says, using mathematical induction, prove that r equals 1 to n 2r minus 1 equals n square. Right? So we need to prove this. So here this part is ur. Right now. So how do you do it? So you go in the normal way. So for r equals 1, so left hand side will be r equals 1 to 1, 2r minus 1. So that means 2, 1 minus 1. That is 1. Then right hand side will be 1 square, that is 1. So for that means left hand side is equal to the right hand side. For n equals 1, the statement is true. Right, so what do we do next? We assume for n equals p. Assume the statement is true for n equals p. So then we will get r equals 1 to p, 2r minus 1 is equal to p square. Right. So then this is the next step. So write it down. Right. So we come up to here. So then what I am going to do is I am going to add the u p plus 1 term to the both sides. Right. u p plus 1 p square u p plus 1. So then this will become r equals 1 to p plus 1, 2r minus 1 is equal to p square. So u p plus 1 is 2, p plus 1 minus 1. Then you will get p square plus 2p plus 2 minus 1 is going to be 1 here. So this is p plus 1 square. Right? So now we have found the answer we want. Right? So now this is p, this is n, so this is p plus 1 square. So we can say for n equals 1, the statement is true if the statement is true for n equals p, then the statement is true for n equals p plus 1. Therefore, from the principle of mathematical induction, the statement is true for all positive integers. Right. So question number 2 says, sketch the graph of y equals 4x minus 3. Sketch the graph of y equals 4x minus 3 and y equals 3 minus 2x. So I will take y1 as 4x minus 3. And then I will take y2 as 3 minus 2 modulus x. So here what you do? You put x equals 3 over 4, that is where this becomes 0. Then when x is less than 3 over 4, you will get a minus 4x minus 3, that means minus 4x plus 3. When x is greater than 3 over 4, you will get plus 4x minus 3. Right, so then you will get here, so modulus becomes 0 at x equals 0, that means you will get 3. When x is less than 0, you will get 3 minus 2 minus x. That means 3 plus 2x. When x is greater than 0, you will get the positive part. 3 minus 2x. Right, so we need to sketch this. So now, if we sketch this down, right, so looking at y equal, so y1 at x equals 3 over 4, this becomes 0, and then when it is less than 3 over 4, you get minus 4, so that's a very big gradient, and after that you get something like this. Correct? So this part will become y1 equals 4x minus 3. This is y1 equals 4x, sorry, minus 4x plus 3. Right? Then y2. So y2, when x equals 0, right? When x equals 0, it becomes 3. So now we have to see what's this point. So now if x equals 0, you will get y1 as 3 as well, right? If x equals 0, you get y1 as 3. So now here also, when x equals 0, this is 3. So when x is less than 0, the gradient is positive, right? The gradient is positive, but the gradient is 2 now. Now this is 4. So now, compared to this gradient, this 2 gradient is very small, right? As in it's basically half now. So now the spread is bigger, right? So now let's draw that as well. So now here you will get 3 plus 2x. So it is a positive gradient, right? Something like this, right? So then this is 3 minus 2x, so the gradient is negative, something like this, right? This is y2 equals 3 minus 2x. This is y2 equals 3 plus 2x. So this is 3. So this is the basically intersection point. We can name this as x1, right? Okay. So now we can actually find x1 as well. So if I find x1 at x1, y1 is equal to y2. No? That is 4x minus 3 is equal to 3 minus 2x. Then I will get 6x equals 6, so it should be x1. x1 will be 1. So now this point is actually x equals 1. Right. Okay, now listen carefully. Right? They are saying hence or otherwise find all real values of x satisfying the inequality 2x minus 3 plus modulus x minus less than 3, right? So now what they are not, so now they are not asking 4x minus 3 is less than 3 minus 2x, or basically 4x minus 3 plus 2x Now they are not asking this, right? Now what is this? This is basically y1 is less than y2. So this part we know. So what satisfies this is, so this is y2, where y2 becomes greater than y1 is basically between when x is between 0 and 1, right? So that is, so now this part is the usual thing that we have done for many years, right? Many years in past papers. But they are not asking this, they are asking something different. What they are asking is, so what they are asking is 2x minus 3 plus modulus x. This no. So now here what has happened is, this 4 has become 2, this 2 has become 1. Correct? So that is the change here, right? So what I am going to do is, I am going to change the variable, right? I am going to change the variable. So what I am going to do here is, I am going to put x equals alpha over 2, right? So if I put x equals alpha over 2, so now alpha is a variable, huh? Now then I will get, so from here, so I know that this part will get satisfied by this part, right? No, this inequality satisfied by x equals 0 to 1. Okay, what I'm going to substitute here. So then I will get, so 4 alpha over 2 minus 3 plus 2 alpha over 2 less than 1, and the satisfying thing is alpha over 2 0 1. Not an issue, no? Then what happens is that you can cut these off. So here you can cut this off as well. So then you will get 2 alpha minus 3 plus alpha over 3 is satisfied by, so if I put alpha, so if I multiply by 2, I will get 0 alpha, right? So now it's a case of just replacing the variable, right? So alpha, y or anything is just another variable, and that answer is given by the same variable. So I can put x here, no issue at all. Then I will get 2x minus 3 plus x less than 3. So then it will become 0 x. Alright, so question number 3. So in question number 3 they say, sketch in the Argand diagram the locus of the points that represent complex number z satisfying argument z minus 2 minus 2y equals to minus 3 5 over 4. So here I can write this as argument z minus 2 plus 2y equals minus 3 5 over 4. Right? So now this is the point. So this is the angle, right? So you have the imaginary z here, the real z here. So here this is 2 plus 2y, so basically 2. So here you will get somewhere around here you get 2 plus 2y, and then the angle is measured from here. This is minus 350. Now what's important here is we have to see now this is true, no? This is also 2. This is 3504. Right? That means now this can go like this, no? Now this can go like this. This can go like this. This can go like this. So now we have to see what is the correct one. Right now? So here because this 3504, what you call this angle will be 504, no, that means 45. Right? So now if you all remember now, if it's 45, the tan value is 1, no? That means this part and this part are equal. Right? So because it's 45, this should go from here. It should intersect 0. Right? So here what happens is this is 45 degrees. So that's why this is 2. So here you will get like this. So now this is the graph. This is what we need to draw. This is the argument z minus 2 minus 2y equals minus 350. Alright, so this is what they are saying also draw. Then they are saying hence or otherwise find the minimum value of modulus I z bar plus 1 such that this argument z2 plus this thing is there. So now basically we did a similar thing in 2018, right? So now this point, so what they are asking is this where this point and this line, what is the closest distance, right? So we have to find what this point represents, right? So we have done something very similar in 2018. So here now, for example, if this point is somewhere like here, so the minimum distance will be this. No? So they are asking something like that, right? So now we have to evaluate this part now, right? So we need to evaluate this, no? So now if I evaluate this, what I am going to do is I am going to take I z bar, then I am going to write 1 as what? I square minus I square. No problem, right? Then what I am going to do is I am going to take I out, then z bar minus I. So now I can take only take this part because modulus z bar minus I. So then I can take, so now I can take the whole modulus here and then replace this minus with a positive. That means z plus I modulus. Because of the properties of modulus and the bar thing, this is equal to this as well, right? So here this represents z minus I, right? So here this is basically minus I point. So we need to know the minimum distance. So here this is the minimum distance, so I'll name that as L1. Right, so now you can find this very easily because this is 45, this is 45. So this is also 45. And then this distance is what? This distance is 1. So then you can find L1 very easily. L1 is what? 1 sine 45. That is 1 over square root 2. That is 1 over square root. So question number 4. So in question number 4, it says show that the coefficient of x6 in the binomial expansion x3 plus 1 over x squared into the power of 7 is 35. Right. So now let's see how to write this part now. 3x to the power 3 1 over x square 7. So now this can be written as what? The addition r equals 0 to 7 cr, then you can take x3 r, then 1 over x square 7 minus r. Right. So the coefficient of x is basically will be this one. So now if I write this further, r equals 0 to 7 cr x 3r over x, so 2 times 7 minus 2r, so then I will get r equals 0 7 cr x 3r minus 14 plus 2r. So then I will get r equals 0 7 cr x 5r minus 4. Right. Now, so what are they asking now? They are asking the coefficient of x to the power 6. Right. So they are asking coefficient of x to the power 6. No. So now here this part will be 6. That means 5r minus 14 will be 6. So now here you will get 5r as 20. That means r is 4. Right. So now again the coefficient of x6 will be 7c4. Right. So here you can get what? Modulus 7 minus 4 modulus, then 4 modulus. So then you will get, so if I expand this, 7, 6, 5, 4 modulus over this is basically 3 modulus into 4 modulus. You can cut this off and then you will get, so 3 modulus is 6, so 7 times 5 35. So this is what they are asking as the first requirement. Right. So then they are asking show that there does not exist a term independent of x in the above binomial expansion. Right. So what do we need to do is we need to consider x to the power 0. Right. So we need to show that there will not be a coefficient that will satisfy that. This is 7 cr x 5r minus 40. Alright. So now we have to show now that there does not exist an independent term of x. So now when we consider the independent term of x, that means basically x0, that means 5r minus 14 is 0. That means you will get r as 14 over 5. Now this is not and what you call positive integer, right? So since this r is not a positive integer, we can say that an independent term of x does not exist. Right, question number 5. So question number 5 is a limits question. It says limit x goes to 3 x plus 2 square rooted minus 1 sine 5 x minus 3. So we need to show that this is 1 over 2 5. This is what we need to show. Right. So now let's see what we can do. So now first of all, just check if we can just put the limit. So you just can't, because here this is also 1 minus 1 is 0. This is also sine 0. So you can't take that. So we need to do some manipulation. So limit x goes to 3. So I'm going to take the conjugate of this. Right. So now here you will get limit x goes to 3. Here you will get x plus 2 minus 1. Right? So now wait a minute, this is minus. Then you will get sine 5 x minus 3. Then I am going to take this separate. X minus 2 plus 1. Right now, so I can put the limit separate. So I am going to put the limit here. So here I will get 1 over limit x goes to 3 sine 5 x minus 3. This is also x minus 3. So what I am going to do is I am going to put a 5 here. So then I have a 5 here. So here if I take the limit, I will get, so 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So now basically I get a 1 over 2 5 out anyway. So here I will get 1 over 2 5. And then I will have this limit now. So I am going to change the limit now, right? So I am going to change the limit term. So that means now I have when x goes to 3, that means x minus 3 goes to 0. So but I need a 5. X minus 3 is basically 0 times 5. That means 5 x minus 3 goes to 0. Then that's what I am going to take. So I am going to take 1 over limit when 5x minus 3 goes to 0 sine 5x minus 3 over 5x minus 3. So now this part will become 1. Then you will get the answer as 1 over 2. Right, so this is the region enclosed by the curve y equals square root x plus 1 x square plus 1, right, and then x equals 0, x equals 1, y equals 0, right. So the region enclosed by the curve y equals this, x equals 1, x equals 0, x equals y equals 0 is rotated, right, is rotated around the x-axis, right. So now this is the x-axis, so at y equals 0 you have, so when x equals 0 is here, x equals 1 is here, and at y equals 0, right, so here is rotated around the x-axis through 2 phi radian. 2 phi is a whole circle. Now this is rotated, right? So there will be a rotation until x equals 0 to x equals 1. Right? So now first of all we need to have a basic idea of the shape of the curve. Actually a very basic idea. So what I am going to do is so now the basic idea. So what I am going to do is I am going to check at x equals 0 what's the value. Then I will get what? 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 square root that is 1. When x equals 1 you will get y equals 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1. So now you will have some sort of curve, but both will be 1 at the same point. Right, so we can assume something like this, right? So now what does this say? This says this rotates around x for 2 phi, right? So now if this line rotates around this x-axis for 2 phi, that means it's like a whole sort of like a you get a big surface which has a volume, no? Right? So what happens is that if I consider this will rotate for 2 phi. That means it will rotate for a whole circle. Right? So now since you all got the idea, then they are asking show that the volume of the solid, not the area, the volume of the solid is generated by what's the answer they want? 5 over 4 5 plus ln. This should be the volume. This is what we need to show. Right? So now what I am going to do here is I am going to first of all take a volume which has the depth of dx, right? So now if I take a depth of dx, right? So if I take a small part, right? Then I will get something like this. No? This will become y, right? This part will become dx, and this y, right? So now think this as a slice now. Now this is a circular thing, no? This is y, this is dx. Right now? So now here the volume of the cylinder. So now this is a cylinder. This is cylinder. No? of the cylinder of length dx is going to be what? 5y squared, right? No, 5y squared dx, right? So the total volume will be 5y squared dx, where this x goes from 0 to 1. So this is the volume, right? Right. So now what we need to do is we need to get this. So the total volume is 0 to 1. 5 y square is this one, x plus 1 x square plus 1 dx. So I'm going to take the x 5 out, then I will get 0 to 1 x plus 1 x square plus 1 dx. Here I'm going to sort of segregate this 0 to 1 x square plus 1 plus 0 to 1 1 x square plus 1 dx. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 here, so that I can get the differentiation of this one, so that I can use the ln form, right? 5 half ln x square plus 1 whole thing 1 to 0. Then here this is basically tan squared part. If I put square here, that means tan inverse x over 1 0. So here I will get 5 half ln 1 plus 1 minus ln 0 plus 1. That is one thing, plus tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0. So I need to simplify this and get the answer, right? Right, so here, this thing here. So we get the answer as so you get 5 out half, this is ln 2 minus ln 1 plus, so tan inverse 1 is 45, so 5 over 4, tan equals 0 is 0. So what I'm going to do here is, so I'll get 4 here, so I'm going to take 4 out, 5 over 4, then I will get 2, sorry. So here I will get it here, so 5 half, this is what? Ln 2 minus ln 1, so 2 over 1 minus 5 over 4. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 4 out, 5 over 4. So then I will get 2 ln 2 minus 5. So then I can put 2 inside. That is ln 2 square minus 5. That is 5 over 4 ln 4. Oh no, this is plus 1. Plus 5. That is the answer we want. Yes. Right, so question number 7. So question number 7 is a predominantly differentiation and predominantly differentiation question. Right, so let's see. So question number 7 says let C be the parabola parametrically given as x equals 8t square and y equals 2at. Where t is a real number, where a is not equal to 0, show that the equation of the normal line, right? Equation of the normal line to the parabola C at the point 8t square 2at is given by that equation. So now let's see. So first of all, we need to get the normal line. So I can get the tangent here, and then I can get the tangent of the normal line, or basically gradient of the normal line. So what I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to get the gradient of the tangent line. That is, so dx over dt, I will get 2at, right? So then dy over dt, I will get 2a. Right now, so I will get this. So now here, I need dy over dx. So dy over dx will be dy over dt, dt over dx. That means 2a into 2a, that is 1 over t. Right now, so now if I take this as ML1, this is the tangent line. Tangent line gradient. If I take ML2 as the normal line gradient, I know that L1 is perpendicular to L2, so I can take ML1 into ML2 is equal to -1. So this is what we don't know. Then you get 1 over t. ML2 is equal to -1. So here you will get ML2 equals -t. Right? So from this we can get the equation of the normal line. Right. So now we know the gradient. So then they are saying show the equation of the normal line to the parabola C at the point at square and 2at. So what I need to do is I need to get the I'm going to write the gradient in two ways. So ML2 is minus t. So this can be written as y minus y value, x minus x value. So then I can get minus t x a t squared by 2a. I will get minus xt plus a t cube equals y minus 2at. So then I will get the answer as at cube plus 2at is equal to y plus x. This is what they are asking us to show. Right? So then they are saying the normal line at point P 4a on the parabola C meets this parabola again at a point Q something. So now they are saying, if you take something normal, something like this. So if you have a normal thing, it will again meet somewhere here. Right, so this is the normal point. This is the point P, which is 4a. Then there's a point Q, which is a t square 2a t. So we are asked to find the t value, right? So here, so now this p point, this has 4a. So I'm going to see what what is the value of t of this, right? Because the x part is basically 4a, y part is 4a as well. So that means if I take the y, 2at will be equal to 4a here. That means t is equal to what? T is equal to 2, right? So now I have t equals 2. So now because t is equal to 2, I can write this equation down now. So now I can write this equation as a 2 cube plus 2a 2 y plus x into 2, right? So here I get the equation as y equals 2x is equal to 8a plus 4a, that means 12a, right? So I know that this line is y plus 2x equals 12. So from this I can find the value q, because this equation should satisfy this. Then I can get the value of t. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to substitute. So now since if I take this as L1, since L1 satisfies Q, since satisfies Q, I can say y is basically what? 2at plus 2a t squared is equal to 12a. I'm going to cut all the a's out, and I'll get t plus t squared is equal to 6. Then I can say t squared plus t minus 6 is equal to 0. Here I can write t minus plus 3, t minus 2. Then t will be minus 3 and t will be 2. So now this is already taken. This is the value of p, right? So for the q value will be this. This is for point P. Right, question number 8. So question number 8 says, let L1 and L2 be straight lines given by x plus y equals 4 and 4x plus 3y equals 10. So L1 is x plus y equals 4, L2 is 4x plus 3y equals 10. Right? So two distinct points P and Q are on L1 such that the perpendicular distance from each of these points of L2 is 1 unit. Find the coordinates of P and Q. Right. So now there's L1 somewhere like this. This is L1, which is x plus y equals 4. Then you have a L2, which is 4x plus 3y minus 10 equals 0. So I'm going to write that in this form. Here also I'll write that in that form. Right, so they are saying you have 2 points P and Q where the perpendicular distance is 1. Right? So now if I take a perpendicular to this, to L2, there's a point P here, this value is 1. Then there's another perpendicular distance here, this is point Q, this length is also 1. So there's a theory here, right? A theory here that you need to know, that is this. If there is a point alpha beta here, and then there's a line here which is ax plus by plus c equals 0, right? So the length of this can be written as so you substitute the x with alpha, a alpha plus b beta plus c divided by this a square plus b square. Now this is the theory that we need to do this sum. Right? Okay. So now here there is a point alpha beta. So here we need to make that adjustment somehow. So what I am going to do here is I am going to see, now this is, now I can write, so now the point lies on L1. The point does not lie on L2, point lies on L1, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to see for L1 I can write y equals what? 4 minus x. Then I am going to put a substitution or a parameter or in a parametric way. So I am going to put x equals t. Then y will be 4 minus t. Right? So then I can write the point P as t 4 minus t. So I am going to use this. and I am going to find value. So now if I substitute this to this equation, I will get 2 values of t. So then one of the values will be the values for P, the other value will be the point for Q. So then you can get the answer. Right, so now here now this is like, so I have a P here, T 4 minus T, and then I have a line which is 4x plus 3y minus 10, and I need, and this L value is 1. So what I am going to do is I am going to get the T value. So I know that, so by using this, A is basically 4 times T plus B is 3, Y is 4 minus T minus 10 over A is 4 square plus 3 square square rooted is equal to 1. Right, so I'll get 4t plus 12 minus 3t minus 10. 5 equals 1. Right, so then I'll get t plus 2 is equal to 5. Right, so this is what I'll get. So now because this is modulus, I can get 2 situations here. So that is t plus 2 is equal to plus 5, t plus 2 is equal to minus 5. Then you will get t as 3, t as minus 7. So then if I take p as this, then I will get 3, 4 minus 3, q as minus 7, minus 4 minus 7. sorry, 4 plus 7. It's minus, no? So then you will get what? P as 3, 1, Q as minus 7, 11. So these are the answers they are expecting. Okay, question number 9. So question number 9 says, show that the point A, which is minus 7, 9, lies outside the circle of x square plus y square minus 4x plus 6y minus 12 equals 0. Right, so we need to show that this lies outside. Right? So what I am going to do here is I am going to take the radius of this. I am going to take the radius of this, and then I am going to check the distance between the center and this A point. So if that is greater than the radius, that means it lies outside. Okay. So now here, if I compare this to the standard form, right, I can take G as what? Minus 4 over 2, that means minus 2. F as 6 over 2, that is 3. C as minus 4. Right? So now I need the center. No? What is the center? Center is minus G minus F. Right? So the center will be what? Minus will be 2 minus. Then I need the radius. No? So the radius will be what? G square plus F square minus C. So now these are all theory. Huh? These are all theory. These you all should know. So here you will get G square is what? 4 plus 9 minus 4. That is 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 plus 12 is 25. So 25 square root is 5. Right? Then now I know what is the so I'm going to name the center as C dash. C dash as 2 minus 3. So now there is this point A, no, which is minus 7, 9. So I need to get the distance of this. So this is basically AC dash. So I need the distance of AC dash. So that I can simply get from the from those coordinate geometry equation. That means the difference between the x values square, the difference between the y values square root. Right? So that is basically minus 7 minus 2 square plus 9 minus 3 square root. That means this is going to be 9 square, this is going to be plus 12 square, that means 15 square, that means AC is 50. Right? So then you can say, then you can compare the R value and AC value and say that this is outside the circle. So here this is AC dash. Right? So now we need to compare AC dash with R. So now AC dash, which is 15, and R is 5. So the center is 2 minus 3. So these are findings that we have. So now since AC dash is greater than R, we can say that point A lies outside the circle. Right, so that is what we need to show. Then they are asking, find the coordinates of the point of the circle S equals 0 nearest to the point A. Right, now this is a circle, this is C dash, which is 2 minus 3, and then there is a point A here, which is minus 7, 9. So they are asking the nearest point to A at S equals 0. That means that point should satisfy S equals 0. And what is the nearest point, or the shortest point? That lies here. I'll name that as B. So now if you take this point, the distance is larger. So we need to find B. So now here, what do we know? We know this distance is 5 and this distance is 15, so this is basically 10. Right? So we can find the B value easily now. Is XB, YB. Right? So we can find XB as, right? So to make it more clear, we can actually write this as a ratio. This is 2 minus 3. This is B, XB, YB. This is A minus 7, 9. This is 1 to 2 ratio. Right? We 1 to 2 ratio. So we can get the point B, XB as what? 2 times 2 plus 1 times minus 7. 1 plus 2. So here you will get 4. 4 minus 7 is minus 3. Minus 3 over 3 is will be minus 1. YB is going to be 2 times minus 3 plus 1 times 9 over 1 plus 2. So here this will be 2 times minus 3 is going to be minus 6. Plus sign is going to be plus 3. Plus 3 over 3 is going to be 1. So then point B will be minus 1, 1. And that is the answer they are expecting. Right, so question number 10. Question number 10, it says T equals tan theta over 2, and they are asking us to show that cos theta is 1 minus t squared 1 plus t squared. So this is what we need to show. So now let's see. So now this is a very standard. This is a very standard sum. So now cos theta can be written as cos square theta over 2 minus sin square theta over 2. This is the half angle thing, right? So then I can divide this by 1. So 1 is basically cos square theta over 2 minus sin square theta over 2. This is cos square theta over 2 plus sin square theta over 2. Right? So what I am going to do is I am going to divide both sides by as in the up and down both by cos square theta. That is cos square theta over 2 cos square theta over 2 minus sin square theta over 2 cos square theta over 2 cos square theta over 2 cos square theta over 2 minus plus sin square theta over 2 cos square theta over 2. So you will get 1 minus tan square theta over 2 1 plus tan square theta over 2. This is basically 1 minus t square 1 plus. So this is what they ask us to do first of all. Then they are saying deduce that tan 5 over 12 is equal to 2 minus square root 3. So in the next part of the sum, they are saying t. So they are saying to find tan 5 over 12. So I can consider t as tan 5 over 12. And then get the answer. So and then get the value of this. So here, so next they are saying us to deduce tan 5 over 12. No? So if I take t equals tan 5 over 12, I can take theta as 5 over 6. Right, because this is basically 1 minus tan square theta over 2. So the theta value will be the twice of this, right? So here I can take cos 5 over 6 is equal to 1 minus tan 5 over 12 square 1 plus tan 5 over 12 square, or basically 1 minus t square 1 plus t square. So I need to find the value of t, right? So if I find the value of t, so I know, so cos 5 over 6, we know the values. No? So that is what? That is square root 3 over 2 is 1 minus t square 1 plus t square. So then I can get minus 3 1 plus t square 2 times 1 minus t square. I'll get minus 3 plus minus 3 t square is equal, square root 3 t square 2 minus 2 square. Then I can get 2 minus square root 3 is equal to 2 plus square root 3 t square. Right? Then I can get t squared as 2 minus square root 3 2 plus square root 3. Right. So what I need is t, no? Right? So now I look at the answer. Then I see that it has 2 minus 3 square. So this part, no? So that means obviously I need to have square of it, no? So thinking in that line, I am going to take t square is equal to 2 minus 3. So I am going to have another one here. So then I am going to divide that as well. Then I will get 2 minus 3 square, 2 minus 3 square root 3 square. This is going to be 4 minus 3. So then you will get 2 minus square root 3 square. So t will be t basically tan 5 over 12 will be 2 minus square root. So that ends the question.